what I find interesting is that we are present for the things that we think are important and significant, and that affect the storyline of our lives, which we are imagining into existence. So, for an example, like let's say that like who you think you are, right? This kind of imagined story and this imagined protagonist which you're identifying with. So, like, you're giving yourself all these traits, like, I am this person, I do these kind of things, I am that. And this is the story in which I am in. Here's me, a self, and there's the world, and there's this story of me in the world, and the world is this way, and I am this way. You see, when you're doing something that doesn't really affect the storyline, doesn't affect your character, that has no significance to this narrative, then you're not present for it, because it doesn't affect what you are so caught up in. It doesn't affect what you're so entrenched in. You see, so many things happen throughout the day, but we only remember some of it. And the things that we remember are the things that affect or add or subtract from this imagined storyline or this imagined protagonist that we're identifying with. So, we may remember, like 5 years ago, that time when we felt really humiliated and we were publicly embarrassed and we cringe when we think of that thought. But do we remember 5 years ago going to the toilet, brushing your teeth? Do you remember swallowing? Do you remember walking? Do you remember breathing? Like, no, you don't, because it doesn't add any value to this storyline which you're so fucking focused on. You see, remembering this situation 5 years ago where you got embarrassed and you got humiliated, you're remembering that so you can reinforce and maintain this solidification of a self and of a worldview. Now, I'm going to give another example. say you got to go somewhere and you got to walk from A to B, from your house to some other place. You got to walk. Usually what happens is we're so caught up in like, I'm going to this place. I'm going to this place. I'm just fucking going to this place, right? The important and significant thing right now is that I am moving towards this place, right? A to B. But, you know, why is it that we placing more importance and significance on anything else other than the moment? Each step you have arrived. Each step you're satisfied, you're fulfilled. Each step you take, every single one, you've arrived at your destination. You know, we spend our whole fucking lives waiting. Just fucking waiting. What are we waiting for? Because this is it. This is as good as it gets. You see, but we've imagined this protagonist that we're identifying with in this storyline in which the protagonist is moving through, and we're thinking that's more important than life itself. That's more important than this aliveness, this being, this presence. And so what this protagonist, this character values and what it wants to achieve, its goals and its likes and its passions and whatever, when we get those things, that's when we are fulfilled, and that's when we have arrived at our destination. But so yeah, there's only a few moments in life though that happens, you know, and so we spend 90% of our lives waiting, just waiting for that fulfillment, when instead we could just be fulfilled always. And this is not an easy thing to do, because it's such a habit to think up this narrative and to think yourself into existence. And everybody around you, the culture and society and all its mechanisms, are reinforcing this idea of you being a real character in your storyline, you know. Like, what are you waiting for? What are you actually waiting for? Well, I've already said what you're waiting for. You're waiting for the success of the character that you think you are. But that's not really living. It's living 10%, probably less, than your life. You could be living always. You could be living 100%. It's not easy to do. And when I say like you could be living 100%, I don't mean like you're fucking living your life to the extreme. You're living life like how you want to, you know, this idealized version of yourself. You know, you're traveling and you're meeting all these people and you're working on your passions and you're living the good life. that's not what I mean, because that's you see, that's what the character wants. And what I'm talking about is kind of like relinquishing that identification with this character that you think you are. And so, like, what I'm saying is, like, you can live 100% and live like what would be perceived as a mundane life. Like, you could get up in the morning and work a 9 to 5 job and just, go home and make some dinner and just go to bed. It could be simple, and if you truly enjoy it, like if it's not some work that you hate doing, and you know what I mean, like that can be enough for you. You can see the divine in the mundane, like, why do we think that, there's something bigger and better out there than what's right here, It's because we've already made up our minds about what this is, and then we've contextualized it to be boring and not enough. It's like, oh yeah, here I am in my hometown. Like, it's my fucking hometown. Boring as fuck. I want to go traveling to some other country, experience some other culture. Here I am, it's fucking boring. It's like, well, just look around you. Like, start afresh. Look at everything as if it's the first time you're looking at it. And do not conceptualize what you're looking at, and do not overlay what you're experiencing with any preconceived idea, And if you do that, then everything becomes beautiful and mysterious and amazing. You don't have to go out and do these extraordinary things to experience beauty and to feel fulfilled. Now, I'm not saying don't go out and do extraordinary things, like, but you kind of get what I'm saying. I sense a tone in my voice of, like, frustration, and it's not a frustration with people, it's a frustration with myself, because I notice this within myself. It's like, here I am placing more significance on other things. Like, at the moment, like, for the past few days, I've been editing this video, and a few days before that, I've been writing a script for another video, and it's all that I can focus on. And even when I'm not doing it, when I'm eating, when I'm going for a walk, it's like I can't fucking shift my focus off it. I'm like, this thing that I'm writing, this thing that I'm editing is really important. And it's just like, I'm completely missing, like, life that's happening right now. And I'm thinking, like, oh, once I make this film, once it's finished, it's going to be like a relief, and I'm going to feel like fulfilled, and that's going to be cool to have this film finished. And I'll feel good about that, because, somewhere in me, there is an identity of a filmmaker, and it's like this urge. It's like, I have to make films, otherwise, I'm starved of this identity, and I'm so yeah, it's just interesting to see this, because I don't want to live my life like this. Like, ultimately, I don't want to succumb to, like, I don't want to give up my own power to my passions, my creativity. I want to be able to just create for the fun of it. I don't want to be, like, driven by by force, this need to create or whatever. Like, I don't want to fucking care if I do anything with my life, You see, again, like, in this culture, there's this reinforcement of, like, if you're not doing anything with your life, you're not good enough, you're not valued, you're shit. If you're not, pursuing your passions and whatever, if you're not, living a life that's acceptable and that's regarded as successful, then you're shit. And you see, I don't want to break away from that fully. I don't want to hinge my worth on what I do. I don't want to have the need to be somebody in the world and do something in the world. I just want to not give a fucking shit about that. Because what I want is something far, far more profound. And that's just living life and engaging with life every nanosecond. And not waiting. I don't want to keep waiting, I want to arrive at my destination in every moment. I want this to be enough, Right now it doesn't feel like that, To be honest, like, I'm sat here and I'm like, this isn't enough. I need more than this. Whatever this is, it's not good enough for me. And that's because I've got some agenda. I've got some conditioning about what I am, what I have to do, all this kind of shit. And I don't want to keep doing that. And it's hard because it seems to be not really like a conscious choice that you can choose, because like this conditioning, it has power over me, it runs me, I'm not in control of this shit. I'm not in control of these energetic compulsions to do shit. My body feels a certain way and then I fucking go make a film and I focus all on it or whatever it is. I'm driven by this social and cultural conditioning, and the best way that I can think of what to do is just try and remain aware that it's happening. And meditation is good, and I do need to start meditating more because I notice that it is beneficial for me. But again, like, I noticed that there is a lot of trappings, a lot of pitfalls in meditating, because you can start to identify as a meditator, and then this protagonist in this storyline is all about meditation, and really meditation is supposed to make you fucking break out of that storyline, and and not be like reinforcing this identity as a meditator or a spiritual person or whatever, and there's a lot of fucking shit that can happen with that, and it's just, like, for the past few months I haven't been meditating that much. Before I'd be meditating a lot, but now it's just like, I do want to get back into it because I do notice firsthand the benefits. I notice firsthand that it's easier to be like, oh, let me just be in this moment, what life has to offer right now, and not, whatever. So Yeah. So there are some thoughts anyway. Yeah. So I'll see ya next time.